Bonjour, everyone. It is Sue with Sue is Retiring to France on a Shoestring. It is Monday before noon out here in the Hill Country, Texas. We finally have some sun and it's starting to warm up, but it is still only about 60 degrees, which is warm for many other parts of the country. But for this time in April, it's a little chilly. I know that sounds crazy. Nevertheless, today is week 7 before I leave for France. And here is what has been going on. This past weekend, I had my yard sale and I was able to offload a lot of things. But as I record this, I'm actually sitting in the parking lot of a business on US Highway 29 in Bertram, Texas, waiting for a young woman and her husband to come and buy my sawhorses. So there's that. I also have the back loaded up with 6 wire fencing sections that another gentleman wants to purchase sometime today, so it was easier just to load them in the car. And then off to my side is a stained glass sun catcher, and at my passenger side foot is my Instant Pot that will be going to a gentleman this weekend who also bought my curved fancy Samsung work monitor that I should have sold a year ago when I retired, but I didn't. That's on me, my bad. I did get some bad news today that my friend's father, who was very interested in purchasing the RV, has decided he doesn't want to do any more RVing. He gave it a lot of thought, I guess, over the weekend, and it is a better probably decision for him, and I'm fine with that. But it kind of puts me back at square one. I was not trying to be too hopeful about that, but I was. And now I'm trying to figure out a couple of different schemes. One of them is to see if I can connect with somebody who would want to sell it for me kind of on a commission basis and split the proceeds. Maybe they would get 65%, I would get 35%, or even less than that. That's fine. I really just don't want to trash my RV because it truly has a lot of great things, and if I had the time and if I wasn't living in it, I would be able to sell it pretty much for fair market value. But that's not the circumstance, right? And you have to deal with the circumstances. I will also keep plugging to sell it for the next 4 weeks. So this month I will be plugging to sell it. And then as we hit the 4-week mark, that's when I will make a decision to either donate it or to offer it up for free or do something else. But I do have 4 more weeks to be able to either sell it or arrange for a arrangement with somebody, and we'll see what happens, right? I did get a quote on my Hyundai 2023 Ioniq 5 EV today from my closest Ford dealer. And the only reason I asked for a quote from them is because their salesperson reached out to me and I guess needs to probably make some hits. But she reached out to see if I was in the mood for a new car. And I said, well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm in the mood to sell my car. So if you want to connect me with one of your sales guys, let me know. And I wasn't really expecting a lot, and I didn't get a lot. And I have to say this because I think we all agree with it. But I used to be in sales. And when you're in sales, you actually need to be a little bit friendly. And this guy didn't even bother saying hello or anything in his email, just give me the specs on the car. So it didn't really start out right. I wasn't really expecting something phenomenal from a Ford dealership for an electronic vehicle that is not one of theirs. And he did not disappoint. He was not very good at it and gave me the most lowball offer of all the other offers that I've had so far from, I think, Edmunds, CarMax, and Carvana. And this guy offered me even less than that, which is nuts. So I thanked him for his time and told him please just take me off your marketing list from this point forward, because I'm moving to another country in just a few weeks. I have almost all of the fencing removed from my RV space, and I'll probably do the rest of that this afternoon. It's a nice way to have the dogs outside on their dog run, and they can snooze in the sun while I am puttering and finishing up the rest of that. I'm going to try to be level-headed and calm about all this, which is not my nature. I like to plan for things. I like for things to fall into place, and I like to know ahead of time. And this, just as I've mentioned before, it's just so unsettling, and it's difficult for me, and probably would be difficult for a lot of people. I am sleeping a tiny bit better, but I think that that's going to be a crapshoot from now until after I get settled in France. I did have the first inkling of how this disastrous U.S. tariffs and economy situation is impacting people moving to France. One of my connections on one of my expat to France groups was planning on traveling May 1st. They have everything set. They have their new place set. They have their pet arrangements set. I think they're buying a place, but they might be renting. Most Americans tend to rent for at least 3 to 6 months ahead of time, which makes a lot of sense, because for people coming from Britain, it's a lot easier to go back and forth across the channel and do actual property inspections, but it's not so easy from the United States. So people from the US, from Canada, from Australia and New Zealand tend to rent first, and then they use their first several months to find a place to purchase if they're so inclined. But this one couple had sold their house. They were getting ready to close on it this week, and the buyers had to pull out Saturday morning because they were going to be using money from their stock market accounts, from their investment accounts, to purchase the house. And their portfolio got wiped out so badly on Thursday and Friday, that they had to pull the sale because they don't have the funds. So now, my friends who are planning on moving there May 1st, they're wondering if they can move. They have to scramble now to figure out another way to sell their home or lease it out or do something. And that's not very much time, right? That's really 4 weeks in total, which isn't really four weeks of business days. So yeah, things can get a little crazy out there. So I feel blessed that I have the opportunity to get rid of stuff if I want or not. And I think that's going to be it for today. I wish everybody a bonjour, a bonsoir. I hope you are taking care of yourself, and I will see you again soon. Au revoir. Okay, short add-on, because I totally forgot to add my hashtag 30 for 30 2025 information. Today, I walked the equivalent of 3.63 miles, and I walked for an equivalent of 1 hour and 52 minutes. And that was going back and forth. And yes, I did do the rest of my fencing, walking the dogs, doing some other just outdoor walking, because again, it was a gorgeous day. So just want to shout out to all of the fantastic walking challenge people. We've only got 2 more days to go. We know we can do it. We can finish strong. And you all are incredible people. I am so blessed to be part of your community. And keep walking, folks. See you tomorrow.